This is Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
And this is A Conversation with Karen. We haven't been on in a while. It's been summer, but summer's kind of over. It's fall now. And what usually happens in the fall is we have fall fairs. And there's one coming up very shortly, and I'm very involved with it. I'm one of the directors of the Tiverton Agricultural Society. And I also have another director, Dianne Atkinson, who's been on many times before. And she's going to talk to us about some of the events we have going on. Hello, Dianne.
Hello, Karen. How are you today?
I'm good. I have a voice today. I'm quite happy.
Awesome. So we're going to talk about the Tiverton Fall Fair coming up. It's October 4, 5, and 6. We always have different kinds of weather in our fair, so be prepared for anything. We're hoping and praying for the beautiful weather that we have for today, though. So, on our events that we have a great committee put together, some young new blood on the line, and they're coming up with some awesome ideas for us to enjoy our fall fair. So we actually start off on Friday. And with Friday, we have the midway will be going. We'll have vendors outside for food. We also have beer gardens going. And we're going to be having the opening ceremonies in the annex. Now, anyone who has come to our fair last year, we used to do our opening ceremonies in the Whitney Crawford, and we've moved it over into the annex so we can give everyone an opportunity to get a sneak preview of what's going to be happening on Saturday with all the exhibits. So with that, we're going to be doing a pie and cake auction. So don't forget to bring your checkbook, everybody. Mm-hmm. Some of them go pretty high priced. And we have the battle among the village people here, and they like to bid on each other's things and make them pay more sometimes than other times.
Some of those pies look so good. I wouldn't even attempt to put a pie in there because there's so many pros that do it. I'd never make it.
I'm telling you, the highest price we have ever got for a pie was, I think, 3 years ago, and it was an apple pie, and we got $1,000 for it.
Wow.
The next to that was a pecan pie. A few years prior to that was $430.
Yeah, I remember that one.
So it's a great fundraiser for our event.
Oh. Yeah, it certainly is. It's nice to see the community get together, especially after so many years of no fairs. So it's nice to see everybody gearing back up. And like you said, there's a lot of new blood on the committee and volunteers, new blood. But we have I don't want to say the older people, we have the previous committee members too that know everything that's been going on. I mean, Dianne, you've been involved in this for how many years?
I don't care to hazard a guess, thank you. And I am the old guard, okay?
Yeah, okay. I've been on, I think, it was before COVID, I think. Yeah, I think before COVID. And I'm a director. Dianne gets very involved. Now, Dianne, we have some new events going on this year, don't we? Some new, do we have that blacksmith? Did we end up getting
Yes, we are going to be having a blacksmith come and do demonstrations.
Yeah.
We want to try and get back to the agricultural part of things where we're showing and demonstrating more of what has happened in the past. Yeah. Glenn has helped us out with that and getting that organized. And he's also bringing the stationary engines. And he's seen those at the steam show in Blythe. So the old style, he calls them putt-putt engines, but they're like a lister, if anyone knows what a lister is. Just old stationary engines and things like that we're going to have in our antique farm implement section. We're also going to be having the mad scientist to return for him,
Oh,
for the children. He will be both Saturday and Sunday in the annex.
yeah.
He had such a great showing last year, and I've seen him several times at other fairs. So, yeah, we're going to be having that as well. And the craft fair that you have organized for us.
Right.
We had that Sunday afternoon, or sorry, starting at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning
10 to
and
3.
through till 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And so the Mad Scientist and the craft fair are running simultaneously in the annex. Well, out on the track at the same time, we'll be running the truck and tractor pull. And that's always been a fun event. It's not an overly huge event, but it's called a bush pull. They don't pull for points or money. We do it just for fun. And the more mud that flies, the more smoke that pours out of the diesels, and the more sound you can put out is the more enjoyable day that they have.
Boys
There's
with
a
the toys.
yeah, there's a lot of young guys that like to get out and do that. Um, Sad to say, but this year I am actually going to be stepping back and handing it over, and a couple of the young guys in the community are going to pick it up. I'm going to be still involved in helping them along,
Yeah.
but Sean Jackson and Jason Convey have expressed interest, and they're going to pick it up. And that's the new blood in the next generation coming in and helping us out and
Yeah.
keeping things
We've been
rolling.
doing that for years.
Almost 10 we've run that, and it's been a successful event every year.
Yeah, I knew it'd been a long time. I knew it'd been a long time. I know there's a lot going on. And I'm praying that the weather will be good this year. Last year was not good. It was, well, on the day of the craft show, it was cold, it was raining. We had heavy coats on, but we were later in the year though, in October. We were like a week later.
Correct. And
Yeah.
it just seems that extra week really hits us hard.
Might make a difference. Yeah, I'm sure hoping it will. Even though it was lousy weather, we had a lot of people show up. They're diehards. They come to all the fairs because I know even yourself, we go to all the other fairs to check it out, see what they have new that we can, maybe borrow their ideas. So it's great that there's so many people that get involved in it. So I'm really looking forward to it this year. For one thing, I'm not sick like it was last year, so it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be good.
It will be.
Yeah.
So
you're also tell us your other position. You're district. What is?
I am a director on the District 10 board for the Agriculture Societies.
Right.
So we oversee 24 of them in Grey and Bruce. So within that, I get to visit all the fairs that I would like to. Last week, I actually was at 4 different fairs in 4 days.
Wow.
So either you really like the fair or you don't. And the fair, but I enjoy it. And yes, I have been doing it for years.
Yeah,
so
obviously.
we can't forget to tell everyone about Adam, though, that's coming.
Oh.
So Saturday night, we have our dance every year, and we are having General Gist return, and they are going to open for Adam Cousins. And a couple of our committee members have really been building a relationship with Adam as for a following for him. And we seen him down at convention when we went this past February.
Yeah.
And invited him to come to our fair this year. And I am excited to see the show that he puts on. I've never seen his show live other than at the convention, so I would like to see the full one. And I think it'll be great. So come on out, check out our dance.
Yeah.
We are going to be having the exhibits open on Saturday afternoon for you to come and see. Come and see if we have the champion quilt that'll go on to the district.
Oh,
we have a
beautiful quilt this year.
Yeah.
Really beautiful.
In the fall, in November, any of the winning quilts that are machine made or handmade, the children have a chocolate chip cookie division. The ladies have a butter tart division. and maple syrup and honey go on to the district level for competition. I'm proud to say that from our fair last year, the maple syrup winner was Mark Lamont from Glamis, and he went on to compete at the district level. And I had the honor to take him down and have him compete provincially at our convention in February, and he came in 4th across the province.
That's great.
So I'm looking for a return of him to come back and defend his title.
Yeah, good idea. I don't do any honey, so I have a honey, but that's it. Well, that's great, Diane. There's lots going on this year, I'm really happy to say. And everybody that, anybody that can go, geez, please come out. There's so much going on. And we love to see all the faces. Fall fairs, when I lived in the city, fall fairs sounded hokey, I'll say. But now that I live out in this rural community, fall fairs are a really big deal, and they are a lot of fun. And a lot goes into doing them, a lot. You have no idea, if you're not on a committee for an agricultural society for a fall fair, you have no idea how much is involved. It's a lot of hard work, right?
It is. We work on it 11 months of the year.
Yeah,
we have meetings and everything, and we carry on through 11 months of the year.
Yeah.
And we already have ideas floating around and things coming for next year already. And in 2026, we already have things on the go for that. So it's not just working on this one, it's working on several of them.
And this year's theme is Pumpkin Kisses and Autumn Wishes. Did I get it the right way?
Pumpkin Kisses and Autumn Wishes.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we can get that to come into the camera view.
Yeah,
There's our book.
Yeah, there's our book.
We have those available. They're at Quickway, Pat's Pizza, the Little Blue Coffee House. So that has a listing of all the competitions and all the things that you can enter into. We also have an Instagram page, so you can follow us on Instagram. And Corey has been doing a fabulous job putting that together for us and posting sections out of our book and pictures and things like that to get everyone out and enter into our fair. See what happens. Show us your talent.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you try something.
Yeah, come on out and see what we've got there, and then maybe next year you can submit something. We'll see what you got. We'd love to see it.
I'd like to warn everybody, once you put your first entry in and you get your first thing going, you're going to get addicted. You're never going to stop after that, and you're hooked. It's like chocolate, ladies.
Yeah, and we do have some Tiverton merchandise. I will send it. We have a mug now with our new thing. We have a bunch of stuff, so you got to come out and see what we got there. A lot of changes and new things there, so you got to come out. Thank you very much, Diane.
Thank you for having us on and talking about our event.
Pardon me? Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got another year. We'll have you back next year.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, thanks, Diane. See you soon.
Thank you. You have a great afternoon.
Thank you. You too. Okay, we're going to take a quick break before our next guest comes on. And it's very exciting. I'm so excited to bring this lady on. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Thank you, Diane.
I was born and raised in Musqueam First Nation territory by my mother, who spoke Hunkaminam to me. As a child, I ceased using my mother tongue, as to use any language other than English was considered not being Canadian, so I was told. The old people came to me in a dream and reminded me of who I am and where I come from. I have reawakened. My roots are strong, and I'm no longer a silent speaker. My language tells me where I am from. It defines me and guides me to teach others to learn and understand our culture and traditions. A gift for those in the present and the unborn generations. What was lost is found. What was asleep has awakened. My blood is here, and I am complete. I have returned home.
Hi, I'm Tiffany James, the host of Her Story. Join us on Rogers TV as I interview various women in our community on how they found success in their own way.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
Okay, good. Okay, thanks for coming back. I hope you are going to come up with some of the fairs, not just ours, but all the others that are around. They're so exciting. And this is a time of year, myself, I live in 7 acres and it's a bush, and I love walking through the bush. You see things you never saw walking through it in the summer. The leaves change. How about if you were to walk through the woods and see a sculpture, like a great big high heel? What would you think if you were walking through the woods and saw something like that? There is a place, and it's quite local. It's just south of Collingwood, and it's called Singhampton. This is hard for me to say. Singhampton Sculpture Forest. And the artist is so talented, and we have her today, Marion Bartlett. Marion, thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you very much. It's such a pleasure, and hearing about the fair, that was interesting for me, because mostly my husband Rick and I spend time in our forest creating things and setting up displays. We have about 30 large installations now nestled in the forest under the trees, and we have had visitors from all over the globe this past summer. It's been very exciting for us.
I don't doubt it. I haven't had a chance to go out, and I'm going to, especially before the end of this year, because I would really love to see it. I've just been looking at all the pictures, and I'm amazed at some of these sculptures you've done out there. To be walking through the woods and see a horse, that's amazing. I think that's my favorite one so far, is the horse. But once I see them, I may have it changed, but I love the horse.
Thank you. Well, the horse was a real challenge for us. I decided I was going to create a horse, and usually they begin as a framework, a sketch and a framework in a shed or in my studio. So I started with the head, and because I didn't have a real reference other than sketches, the head became a lot larger than it was supposed to. So when that happened, I realized that the rest of the body would also have to coincide. And then we took all the parts out into the forest and began to build the piece. So the horse is about 8 feet tall. It's very, very large. And so it's had a lot of positive reaction. I think most people have visions of horses being free and running and so on. This one has the most kind face, and it just happened, It was a face that I loved right away, and I thought, I'm just going to leave it. It's made totally from metal.
Yeah.
It's placed under the trees, and it's become a real favorite. Even little tiny children think it's amazing. It's just this huge, huge, friendly critter.
Now, speaking of children, one of the pictures, I'm sure Mark will put it up, is 3 little girls sitting on a bench looking up at another little girl sitting on a bench in a tree.
That's right. That's a fairy.
That's
a fairy.
Yeah, that is so cute. The way they're sitting there looking at it, it's like they're amazed.
She's made entirely of wire. I work with different types of wire. Sometimes I just pick up a roll of chicken wire and other easily accessible types of materials, and cut it, stitch it together with strings of aluminum wire, and then the trick is to get it up in a tree or find a spot that it won't harm a tree. Because I say to people, When people say to us, well, you own a forest under 4 acres, they say, well, actually, we are stewards of the forest. We don't own the trees. We don't own the forest. We have to look after them. Our job is to kind of nestle artwork so that it does not harm the trees, and that you can just walk gently through and enjoy experiencing art and nature together.
Now, where do you get the ideas for some of this? Is it just you see something and it just pops in your head?
Oh, yes. If you talk to my husband, Rick, he'll tell you that the ideas just keep springing forth. Sometimes in the middle of the night, I'll have an idea, I'll write it down, I'll draw it. And there are sketchbooks full of ideas. I was going to do create a herd of sheep or cows at one point, but I thought, well, I'll have to find a spot for them. So anyway.
How about the big frog? The big frog on the bench.
Yes, that was one of the first pieces that we created. And I wanted to have, anytime that you visit other cities in the world, you'll find that there are people on benches, sometimes animals on benches, and people love to come and take a selfie with themselves and an object or a person or a critter sitting on a bench while we have a frog. And he's quite flirtatious, I have to say. He loves the ladies, so you're going to have to come and sit beside him and see if I'm not exaggerating, because he does. He's quite flirtatious.
I've seen him with a few women, so I am dying to get it to snuggle up to him.
Good.
I'm looking forward to that. Something else I noticed was the mirror man. It's all in mirrors. Yeah.
That's right. I call him mirrored soul, because it was a piece of concrete board, and we smashed up some reflective mirrors and then grouted them on. So when you take a photograph of this object or of yourself in this object, it'll always distort the images. But the other day, someone said to me, come and look at the photograph that I've taken, the image that I've taken. And they captured a face that they don't know where the face came from. It was as if it was a face that just kind of formed itself within their image. I don't know how it happened, but it was just kind of magical or mystical, I guess.
Yeah, it really surprised me. You also have a man with a briefcase.
Yes. Now,
he's a story behind that one?
There is a story behind that one. I call him the man with baggage, although it can be any person that feels that they've been through life and they have a heavy load to carry. So it can be someone who's had troubles, someone who's maybe lost a loved one. But in any case, that suitcase that he's carrying, it sort of personifies the fact that they feel that that they have a load to carry. And so my idea about him is that his load is so heavy that perhaps we should help those people, the people that have a heavy load to carry. We should help them by helping them carry that load. And it's just a visual of what you carry inside, your problems, your issues, and your pain.
Yeah, that's the first thing I kind of thought, is that he almost looks melancholy. It's almost like he's, the first thing I thought of was he's packing up his troubles. That's the first thing I thought.
That's right. And it's a funny thing, because people walk through here and I don't direct them. They walk through 30 different large displays. And I have to say dozens of small ones too. There, if you look on the ground or up in the trees, you'll see all sorts of things that are peeking out at you. But of the large pieces, I always ask people, so which one did you like the most? And it's often the man with the baggage, because everyone can see themselves there. And sometimes they're carrying a burden and they don't want to unload it. They don't want to share it with anyone. Well, this is a very, very, this is a, an object that you can really see. And you can say, yes, I can imagine him with his hand on this heavy, heavy, heavy suitcase.
That is exactly what I thought of.
Full of worries.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought of when I saw him. I thought he's trying to get away from something, trying to get rid of things.
And he looks concerned, doesn't he? He looks like he's thinking deeply about it.
Yes.
But we're hoping that because he is in the middle of the forest, within the trees and within all the lush plantings, that perhaps he can share it with nature itself.
Yeah. Now I'm looking at some of your other ones that I'm just what is the frog? I just love that frog. Sorry. Now you have a man and woman. Are they supposed to be married? Is that a wedding picture? It's a man and a woman.
The one on the tree?
Yeah, he's in a black suit and she's in a little pinkish outfit.
Yes. So they are the dancing trees. So my fantasy is that at night, when we're all asleep, that the trees actually communicate to each other. And they may actually dance. When the wind is blowing, they could actually dance. So there you are. It's giving them a personality. I feel that the trees are almost like a community, because when the really raging storms come through the forest, I look outside to make sure that they're all okay, that all of my, my people, my trees are okay. And pretty much they are. They're holding together. Their root systems are holding together so that they're going to be just fine. And wouldn't that be something if we all did the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
kind
right.
of symbolic.
I think it's great that you've taken your talent and brought it out so other people could see it, because this is a free walk through your forest, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. And to see some of the things that you've thought of, I mean, gosh, I can't imagine. Like there's you've got that great big face of a man.
Yes.
It almost like a Easter Island face.
It almost is. Now, that sculpture was our most recent one. So part of it, the interior, the framework, had to be carried out by, I think it was 4 of us. And my husband, Rick, he's a very good sport, I have to say. He has to be. So anyway, 4 of us carried it out, and we put steel prongs into the ground, and underneath the surface of the ground is concrete to hold it in place. Then the outside was finished, and it is like a composite stucco and concrete to give it that hard shell. And it's going to be a forever piece for sure.
It's certainly something to see a great big face like that out in the forest.
It is.
Now, the high heel. Where did that come from?
Oh, that's an old, worn-out shoe. That's what it's entitled. It's a worn-out shoe, and it's an homage to fashion and how fleeting is fashion. You hear people all the time, oh, I must have those shoes, I must have that purse, I don't care what it costs, and I have to shop for it, and so on. And then it's discarded. At some point of the wearability, it disappears. You want something new, something to take its place, and then that old shoe is relegated to the back side of the closet. So that's what it's about. It's about our worshiping of items, our worshipful addiction to pieces of fabric and frames and the clothing that we wear, and it all disappears. And I think life is, you have to consider life a little bit. Still look in the mirror, spend more time with your friends and family, that kind of thing. Less time shopping. Maybe I'm stepping on the wrong feet, so to speak.
So take notice of what's around you, to
Yes.
get inspiration, and to just
Yes.
think about what is around you. You know, I
That's
mean,
it.
what are some of the materials? Okay, we know you use wire and cement. Now,
Yes.
couple, do they have like cloth clothes on? Was that cloth?
Yes, it looks like that, but actually it's made to look like cloth. But there's an angel. Did you see the large angel against the tree? That's a very favorite one because it's about, I would say, maybe 16 feet tall. It's quite large, and visitors will often feel personal attachment to that one. And it's a plastic coated fabric, and that's how it manages to be light enough not to affect the tree. I don't want to affect the tree with any damage. The pieces that are standing alone are often created from a faux stone or concrete stucco mix.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've used a lot of different materials. I'm always excited to try to experiment with something else. And the wire that I have is pretty much wired that all different types that you can buy from, from my local, maybe I shouldn't even mention them, but Hamilton Brothers. They're great friends of mine. I go over and I buy a wire there, and they're happy to load it up in my car, and away we go. So there it is.
I'm going to have a look at another piece that I can talk about, because you've got so many interesting things there. The woman that's in almost like a shroud.
Yes.
It is a woman in there, right? I'm assuming it's a woman. Yeah.
That's well, nowadays there's a lot of conversation about people who are displaced by one thing or another, whether it's war or famine, whether it's a flood, or in our own country, fire and flood. This happened in Kelowna, places like that. And then other people take them in. And so my question was, I'm answering a question by creating this piece. So the question was, what will you pick up if you are given minutes to go into your home and just pick things up and in your hands and take it out? Well, I think, funny enough, even though this is the modern world and we all have a phone and so on, I think many of us would still pick up those photo albums, the photo albums with pictures of loved ones that we haven't transformed into digital yet.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a thing that we should do. But this woman, you can see that perhaps she's gathering her children around her. She has one shroud of one fat piece of fabric that she's wrapped in. So maybe we should look at how fortunate we are that here we are living in a country. Most of our country is pretty safe, and we have a meal and we have a roof over our head. Millions of people in the world don't have that nowadays, and this woman represents those people. So
the unfortunate, because she does have a sad look to her face. She looks like she has trouble. She has trouble.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's pondering her future.
Yeah.
She's pondering her future, and somehow we have to find an answer to that, and it has to be humane, and it has to be compassionate, and it can't be with anger against the situation that these people haven't usually caused. They haven't caused the situation that is moving them to other countries or other places in the world. So that's my 2 cents worth. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about things like that, but
have something that keeps you creating.
What is art? But if you look at Banksy, his work is always a comment about the lack of humanity, or what people should have.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
In terms of caring for others.
Now, do you have a favorite?
No. Do I have a favorite? Oh gosh. You probably can't. There's one that I really particularly love, and that's Joy. But because she is an unclothed individual. It's probably not something that you can show on screen, but I like that one because she's a real woman. She's large. She's obviously maybe had children. She is dancing and she is free to breathe the air, and she is surrounded by nature. And I think she sort of embodies the freeness that we all want to feel in nature and in the world. Free of trouble, just taking a walk in the forest. And that's what we're providing here. We're providing a walk through the woods that you can sit on our many benches, that you can just park your car at the end of our driveway, come up and enjoy just being a part of an art experience, because this is an ongoing art experience. So we hope that it's entertaining and it's also thought-provoking.
Now, how often do you create something? Do you have a set plan that you want to have so much created in 1 year, or you just wait for the inspiration?
Oh gosh, I create all the time. I'm drawing pictures, so I take sketch pads with me when I visit other countries. And also I belong to the Blue Mountain Foundation of the Arts, which is a very a wonderful organization, and they inspire people, and we hope to inspire others, of course. But I create small pieces all the time. For instance, we also have a studio gallery here, and it's a small space. Well, it's big. It's a big space, but smaller than the forest, obviously. But always there are new pieces up there, and we have workshops sometimes where groups of people come up. They tell me they want to do a workshop. They want to learn how to do wire creations, or they want to create something out of pottery, because I have a kiln here too. And so we share that skill set.
Your husband does woodworking too, so all kinds of bowls, and it's that live edge kind of, so it's not.
Yes, it totally is. His name is Rick Bino, and he still is actually a civil engineer, and learned to do woodwork as a way to escape that kind of corporate setting, just an escapism. So he's got a really, really well-equipped shop here, and he makes live edge boards and hand-turned bowls and things like that, furniture as well, and I'm very, very happy doing it. And he mixes concrete too. I have to mention that he mixes concrete so that I can boost these huge things up and they won't fall over in a windstorm. So that's my my hand to him, because he's truly a very supportive fellow. He really is.
Well, Marion, it's been great talking to you, and I do want to come out, and I'm going to bring a camera, and I want to make sure I come out this fall before it gets too dark. Now, you're open 10 to what time? 5, is it?
10 till 5, yes. Most every day. We ask people that if they're going to come and if they want to see the studio, just to check with us, because we're online. They can message us, and then we'll let them know if we're going to be in or not. Obviously, if we're out shopping for groceries like everybody else, then the place is pretty much locked up. So we would rather be here and speak with them if they want to ask some great questions about our work. And we're happy to visit with people. We've had, as I said, visitors from all over the world, Australia, Singapore, the UK, all over the States and Canada, of course, and they just share the images online, and then we're visited by these lovely people. Yeah.
See it online, but you want to see it right there.
Oh, God. And the selfies that people share. The other day, we had a lovely lady. I don't know if you saw that picture. A friend brought her mom, who's 100 years old, to visit. It was lovely. Yes, visiting the frog, of course.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to come out there, and I hope people will see this and they come out there. Now, are you open in the winter too?
No, we are not. No, because the pathways are meandering and some of them a little bit steep.
Yeah.
We would prefer not to have people. Then we don't walk back there. We allow the forest to kind of do its own thing. The insects are under the ground, and the leaves are packed with snow. So it's a good time to let it rest. You know,
When is it closed? And is it different times depending on weather?
We always say, yeah, Thanksgiving is a good time. After Thanksgiving, if the leaves are still colorful, then we'll stay open a little while longer.
Oh, sure.
And then we're open again the end of May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely coming out, and I'm going to bring some people with me.
Oh, please do. Please do.
So
I
to see it.
love to meet you in person.
We'll have you on again because you're going to be making new stuff, and we only get
yes.
a portion of it.
Always.
There's more to see. That we just don't have enough time for everything. So we're going to have you back. Maybe in the winter when you're creating more. You never know.
Please, that would be fun. Then you can come over and get your hands dirty. Come on over. Yes.
Oh, for sure. Gonna have to look at these workshops because I love creating things. Okay, Marion, you also do small sculptures that I saw in your studio.
Yes, that's right. That's right. We a lot of the things that we do are custom, of course, and sometimes people will ask us to do small figurines and so forth. Rick will do furniture and charcuterie boards, beautiful work, of course, that wood turnings, and we're always happy to showcase those things for sure. Sometimes people will want to take one of these things home with them, and we're happy to put it in our custom-made bags and send it along the way. But yes, some of the works that we do have to be indoors, and they have to be obviously made in a controlled area, because outside, if it's raining or if it's snow or the weather up here, we usually get about 4 feet of snow. So
Singhampton
is no city.
So Bruce County, you know what it likes. It'll change in no time. While you're sitting there, the weather will change completely.
Oh, it sure does. We've got some area along the side of our driveway. People think that's quite clever. We put posts there because there's a dip on the side of the driveway, and I wanted to make sure that we wouldn't drive off the driveway. So I carved the posts with faces using my angle grinder and my small chainsaw. So we have different tools as well that you need to have those tools, of course. And people always tell me very colorful stories about, oh, Marion, you know that with a chainsaw you can lop off a hand or something. It's always pretty dramatic, but I'm very well equipped. I have a helmet and goggles and everything else. Exactly.
Looking at some of your other pictures here. Now you have the naked woman laying there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's one that's, and I don't, that's a smaller one. So she is the one that's laying down.
Yeah, she's laying down, relaxing.
Okay. There's one in a bed. Have you seen that one? There's a man in a bed.
Yes, I see him. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, tell us about him.
Okay, that's a piece that began as a found object. I found the bed itself, a framed metal bed, in an antique shop. And I knew that I had to have it. It was like a full bed, double bed or queen size. So we put that in the forest, and I realized that it needed to have a head and hands as well, so that when people walk through the forest, they come upon this bed, and the blanket is grass.
Yeah.
It's kind of growing. and then the head, he looks like he's asleep. And I said, when you're sleeping and you wake up in the middle of the night and you've been dreaming about people and you have no idea who those people are, no idea at all. They're strangers. So I said, well, in this case, we are the strangers in his dream. So we're walking past and you're looking down at him, he's sleeping. So we're part of his dream. And people find that, the whole concept of that is you're reaching for something a little bit whimsical. So part of our sort of exploration of the forest is whimsy. It's part of being happy. The forest sculptures, some are thought-provoking, some are humorous, some of them are like outrageous perhaps, but it all leaves you with a message that life is like that, isn't it? From one side to the other, we have moments that cause happiness, cause us to smile, and cause us to explore ourselves as well. So the photographs and the images that you're seeing online are what other people have taken from this experience. And we're pretty happy about it. There are over 30 of them, so they're quite large. And there's up in the trees, we have so many different objects. There's one that's a huge woodpecker, and he must be about 8 feet long. And there's a little boy going up a ladder, and he's followed by a dog, and so he's up in the tree as well. So that's one of the more whimsical, magical pieces that we like to introduce.
That would be absolutely amazing to see something like that. Like I said, kids would be amazed seeing this. It would just, like you say, whimsical, magical. Just walking in and seeing something like that. It's something they wouldn't be expecting, I'm sure.
We've had many, many grandparents coming to bring their grandchildren. We've had people from the city, from Toronto, of course, coming to bring their young art student graduates in to let them see that there are ways to make a living in the arts. There are ways that you can share your talent. And so when we say to these young people, exploring a different way to make a living, for a three-dimensional art piece, or just creativity, probably online these days. People are doing work on digital platforms that are pretty exciting as well. But we're here to inspire, that's for sure.
Yeah, because you like to see hands-on, myself anyway. I like to see hands-on art.
Yes.
I know it's great to create it on the computer, but I like to see the hands-on part. To me, that means a lot more, I think.
Well, I think so. And when you marry the artwork within flowers and growth and lush trees and so forth, because our displays start in May. So you can imagine we have mushrooms coming up and trilliums and all sorts of flowering plants that are wild and indigenous. And there's absolutely no way that I can predict which plants and which flowers are going to be here right now. Now we have black-eyed Susans coming through the forest, and wild roses, and so garden enthusiasts have been coming through and taking lots of photographs as well. And that's fun for us too, because I can't label all of our plants. I really don't know what many of them are called. But when we have experts walking through and saying, oh my goodness, you've got this kind of mushroom and we've never seen that, or we haven't seen it in a long time. And we have milkweeds. So of course our monarch butterflies are flying about, and wild little bats and things at night that are chasing our fireflies and things. It's really quite quite an interesting spot.
Oh,
We've got everything.
now, how long have you been doing this? How long have you had the forest?
We've been doing this, believe it or not, for only 7.5 years, and so our forest is under 4 acres, and it's not a big forest, but it's a mature sugar maple bush.
Oh.
So lots of our trees are quite majestic. They're just absolutely lovely. I touch them as I go past because I know that each one has an aura, and so leaving them alone is what pretty much we do most of the time. We ask people.
Weird. Wow.
Yeah, we ask people to stay on the paths, and look at the objects, and except for one place, and that's the place that we call the room. I don't know if you've seen that on your images.
I don't think so.
But it's a room that is actually brings the forest in. So there are 4 posts. There's a chandelier that hangs down from a ladder that is suspended across, and the chandelier and the windows are freely hanging, as is a mirror and an empty frame. And then in the middle of that, we've got kind of like a tea room. It looks like a Mad Hatter's, I don't know, like 2 chairs and a table, and a silver tea set that isn't real silver, of course. But people will pose there, even bring hats to wear and sit on either side of our little table, and it's quite cute, and a lot of people will pose there. They enjoy that.
That would be so nice to see.
It is. It's pretty unique.
Okay, now I think we've run out of time.
Okay.
I know, we just keep talking. But anyway, it'd be interesting about your studio. I would love to see that, because I see some of your creations in there, and they're really nice. And to see just what's going on. People have to check out your website, your Facebook page, absolutely, and your website, just to see what all is going on there, because I think that's how I found it, was on Facebook. I saw a picture come up and I thought, what is this? And I investigated, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is so good. So once I was getting my voice back, I gotta talk to Marion about this, because
I'm glad you're feeling a lot better too. I mean, I'm sure that was kind of a scary time for you as well.
Yes.
So I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, feeling better. I mean, we all have to just stay safe. I know COVID is still out there.
It still is.
Yeah. So we just have to learn to live with it, I guess, don't we? But I'm really happy, and I am going to come out there, because I just have to see it, and I'll let you know when I'm coming, and I'll make sure to bring lots of film. I'm going to take lots.
It's been absolutely my pleasure to chat with you, and thank you for sharing this with everybody who's interested in exploring art and nature. It's an adventure for us, and we hope it's an adventure for those who come to see us too.
Art and nature go hand in hand. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, Marion, well, we'll be talking to you again soon. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll be seeing you before winter, but if I don't, have a nice week of winter.
Yes, thank you, and you stay well.
Keep creating.
Yes, for
Okay,
sure.
thank you so much. Okay, I think we've run out of time. We're going to have Mark. I think we've run out of time, so we're going to be back next month. Make sure you watch this, and make sure you go out to Singhampton Sculpture Forest.
That's it, Singhampton Sculpture Forest.
Make sure you go out there, because it is amazing, and you won't regret it. And go to the Tiverton Fall Fair. Don't forget that either. That's it. Okay, well, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next month with another new guest. Okay, see you then. Thanks so much, Marion. We're good, Mark.
fit in. It doesn't matter. We all fit in together, even if we don't fit in.
It's hard, yeah, I understand. I felt the same, like I just didn't belong. But there's a party here, you should come, 'cause we're all singing the same song. I wanna hear you scream, I am a misfit, and I love it, I am a misfit. Trying to fit to a box that can handle it, can handle your heart, can handle your mind, 'cause they're too big and you're too bright. I wanna hear you scream, I am a misfit, and I love it, I am a misfit. Where my misfits at? I am a misfit, and I love it. I am a misfit. He was the nerdy boy, she was the fat kid. We were the losers, yeah, we were the misfits. Took the look now, 'cause we're all killing it. We bring my hell, yeah, 'cause we're the misfits. I wanna hear you scream, I am a misfit, and I love it. I am a misfit. Where my misfits at? I am a misfit, and I love it. I am a misfit. Where my misfits at? Where my misfits at? Come on! Where my misfits at? Where my misfits at? Where my misfits at?
This Boiler Beach performance was brought to you by 2M Power and the Bruce Kincardine.
I wanna hear you scream.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
I lost my job recently, and it's been tough to keep my spirits up. I feel like I'm failing my family. Your prayers have given me renewed hope and guidance. You were there for me in my darkest moments, shining a guiding light. Thankful to say, our prayers have been answered.
Are you the type who would keep going or stop? It's not easy to stop when you have an addiction. Legalizing cannabis won't stop addiction. It trivializes its consumption. Let's be vigilant. If you need help, visit portage.ca.